Hi, Rhonda Cheney and I would like to give you a few pointers on how to lay out your pattern onto your fabric. Your interlock is pretty special fabric because it is smooth on both sides and it is the same on both sides. Both sides, the knit looks exactly the same, so you really can't get it inside out or wrong side out. Unlike this pattern here, this t-shirt here, the fabric is printed, so it's plain on the outside. So here we've really simplified the chore of making a t-shirt because both sides are the same. The interlock is a series of looped yarns knitted together. So that is what gives it a lot of stretch. And the stretch is important because the stretch, the crosswise stretch, helps it to go around our bodies. The lengthwise stretch is not as important, but the crosswise stretch is important in order to get it on our bodies, and it also makes it more comfortable to wear. Now, when you got your fabric, you probably got it folded in half, just like I did, okay? And I threw it into the washing machine and threw it into the dryer on the warmest setting that I'm going to be using in my laundry, in my family laundry, which is usually warm and then a hot dryer. So I've taken as much pre-shrinkage as I'm ever going to need taken out of this. Another advantage of interlock is the fact that it is low shrinkage. So I've prepped my fabric so it's ready to be cut. When you got it, it was folded in half. We're going to be making the t-shirt that's going to require that the center front and the center back get cut on a fold. So this is our pattern layout here. You can see there's a fold on the top and a fold on the bottom, and the selvages, or the edge, the raw edges of the fabric, that's folded to the middle. And so that's what we're going to do here. This is a picture of the t-shirt that we're making. It's the center t-shirt, and you can make it with either short sleeves or long sleeves. So as you can see, it's Stretch and Sew 333 t-shirt. It's really ambidextrous, so to speak, or unisex. It is cut quite generously large, and it's a boxy cut too, as you can see here. Okay, now, how are you gonna lay out your fabric? Well, you're gonna lay your fabric straight out, and then you're gonna fold in the raw edge, the selvage. You're gonna fold it in, and you're going to measure the selvage to the fold. I have folded it in basically to the center. There's a center fold in the fabric from being on the bolt. And so I've folded it into that center, and then I have gone back and I've measured that it's 13 inches here and it's 13 inches here. Now that's easier said than done. Lots of times the fabric will twist like that and you'll have a wrinkle here, or it will wrinkle underneath, and so you have to smooth out those bubbles underneath. So through a process of fanning and smoothing, it takes a while. Plan to spend at least 5 or 10 minutes on it. It might take you less, but it might not. It took me a while because it sticks to itself. So you are constantly scooching the fabric, okay? So we folded it in half, equidistance, and we know we're ready to go. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to lay out your pattern pieces. The things you need to watch for with your pattern pieces is you need to watch for the grain line, which is this large line here with the arrows. A grain line always has arrows, so you know what that line is doing on your pattern. It's the grain line. This pattern has the lengthwise grain marked on it, and that's important so that you match the grain line of the pattern to the grain line of your fabric, and that way your t-shirt will not hang askewed. It'll hang straight and plumb on your body. So the other thing I'd like you to notice is that we've heavily labeled what the pattern is, 333 t-shirt. This is the front. We're going to cut just one on the fold so we have both sides. And it's a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's all nice information to have on a pattern piece so that you don't have to go back and try to figure out what you had done in the past. So this one is ready to go. What I also want you to be aware of is there is a notch on the shoulder tip, and a notch is a matching point. So this is the top of the sleeve, and it's going to match to the center back notch on the shoulder. And that's important to be aware of. You don't want to cut those notches out. They look like little diamonds or triangles, but it's an industry standard to match notches. And it is kind of a roadmap. So we've laid the pattern out on top of the fabric. And now I'm just going to do one more double check here. See, you've got to scooch it, so you don't really want to move it around once you get it flat. Yep, that's 12 inches. Uh-oh, I scooched it too much because now it's 13 inches. So I'll have to go back and realign this piece so that it's equidistance. Okay, so there's 13 inches. I know it's good. I'm going to use a pattern weight to hold it. You can still feel those wrinkles. There we go. Now it's smoothed out. So we have 12.5 and 12.5. Notice how I use my fingers so I can remember what the mark was. Here's the front pattern, and it's placing it right on the fold. I'm placing it right on the fold, making sure that there's enough fabric underneath the top. Okay, and I'm going to use the pattern weights to keep it in place as I pin it. And as we showed you earlier in an earlier film, we're going to be rocking the pins in and out, and then we'll cut it. I hope you've been practicing your cutting techniques. Those long strokes are very important for a nice smooth inside finish. It makes for a nice finished product. So I'm marking my pins back and forth into the fabric and into the paper. Now I've made this t-shirt a few times, and you can see that there's still a strong black line. I have been cutting along the line, not cutting away into that line. I don't want to change the size of the pattern. Now, hopefully you'll be able to walk around the table. I can't in this case, but long, smooth cuts and a little bit past the corner so that you can come around and cut again. And here I would move it to the edge of the table so I'd be able to walk around, or I'd cut it from a different angle. So just walk around your table if you need to. Okay, we're ready to cut. Happy cutting.